Welcome to Strictly Game Boy, the podcast you can take with you. I'm your host, Clay, and I'm joined today by Brian. What's going on, dude?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great.
It is a long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. It is lovely outside today, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Just stunning.
I'm so glad I have today off.
Oh, man. Have you played any good Game Boy games lately?
I, in fact, did play one good Game Boy game.
Oh, you actually picked this week's game, didn't you?
I did.
Nice.
It's a game that I do love. I love very much.
Yeah, we're pulling one of your favorites out pretty early on in this show.
Yeah. The favorite that I ended up having to find again. Actually, a friend. I'll talk about it later, but a friend found it for me. So
Nice.
after I had lost it. So
awesome. All right. Well, it is going to be a great episode, guys. Clearly, we're really excited to get going.
clearly,
So we're just going to jump straight into things, and today we are talking about Mickey's Dangerous Chase.
Now, Mickey's Dangerous Chase was developed by Now Productions, published by Capcom. I'm sure they had a close relationship. Released in North America on May 15th, 1991. For the EU, the only thing we could find was 92. But this is technically an original game, even though we're going to get to it. It's basically Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, but on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Starring Mickey instead. Little bit of trivia. This title was one of the first games to be sold under the Player's Choice category of Nintendo games.
Interesting.
For those of you who don't know, they kind of brought it back toward the end of the Wii U. But Player's Choice, or as it used to be called, the Million Seller Club, was when once a game sold 1 million units, Nintendo would drop it to $20. And it used to be a wonderful time to be someone who was a child who did not have income. Later, when you'd see games for like DS and the Wii, like stuff that were launch titles, you would still 3 years later go to Target and see them for sale for $60 because they just never dropped the price on them. Which, as a Nintendo fan, was insane to me because the Player's Choice, the Million Sellers, it was $20. After it sold 1 million, it was $20. We all knew that. So this is in the first class of Million Sellers.
Interesting. Well, another thing I wanted to point out is there were certain versions of this game that had a free special deal that was promoted. So if you look at some of the box art, some of them have a yellow thing on the bottom of the front of the cover.
Does it the one that you're looking at have the Nintendo Player's Choice seal on it, or
No.
is it original?
So this is different.
Okay.
There may be like 3 different versions of this game. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But what this game had, and it says free Mickey Mouse Club, what is it? Hip Pack.
Hip Pack. We would call that a fanny pack.
Fanny pack.
Yeah.
As well as the Disney Channel. You get some free Disney Channel.
Oh, right. You
viewage.
For like $10, you could probably get a month subscription to the Disney Channel.
Right.
Back in the day when all of our channels were right there, but just, whatever, you scrambled or something.
Yes. So, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I was looking at it one day and I noticed there was multiple versions of the cover art and I was like, what is this yellow thing? And so I finally found a good version that I could read what it said.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. Free Hip Pack. Everybody loves those. And thought we should mention that to the listeners.
And I'm betting you it's a neon color.
Yes.
Because it's the early 90s.
It's probably super obnoxious.
Yeah. Go ahead and say like neon pink or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking yellow.
Are you thinking yellow? Dude, that's the other one I would go with. It'd be like yellow, but you're not sure if it's yellow or green because it's so bright and awful.
Yes, definitely.
So I kind of wanted to, my history with the game. I don't remember when I got this, but I got it really early on, probably in the first year that I owned a Game Boy. I really love this game. This is why I kind of was like, all right, you need to play a game, Clay. You need to play this. It does have, if you've ever played the NES Chippendales Rescue Rangers game, it does have that mechanic where you're picking up boxes and throwing them at enemies. You know, if you touch an enemy, you're dead. But I played the crap out of this game. I love it to death. In fact, I think I lost it at some point, and then in the middle of the night, like at the end of the 90s, probably, like my best friend found it somewhere and was just like, here, in box. Like, here you go. I know you lost this game that you won't shut up about. Here you go. And gave it to me. And I was like, all right, cool. And I opened it up and handed the cart back to him. I was like, now play it, because I've been telling you about this game for years. And he's like, yep, no, it's a good game. I like it. I like it a lot. Your history with it is like as of last week when I made you play it or something.
It's not that soon. But no, like I mentioned, I think it was last episode 0, or whatever episode that was. Basically, I've started playing through as many Disney games as I can get my hands on. And so this was one I had not played and honestly had not ever heard about. I had no idea this game existed. But after meeting you, within the span of maybe 2 weeks,
it was pretty quick.
I heard like 3 other people tell me about it.
And as soon as I found out that you were on a Disney video game podcast, I was like, oh, you should play Mickey's Dangerous Chase. It's a good game.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, another Mickey game. Like, I love Mickey games, don't get me wrong, but it's just like exhaustion of like, oh, another Mickey game I need to play. But after hearing, I think 2 or 3 other people mention it to me, literally within like a week of you telling me about it, I was like, all right, this is a sign I need to play this game. Apparently it's pretty great. It's weird that I'm hearing about it a lot right now.
Yeah.
But I just need to go check it out.
Yeah.
So I went online and I found a copy. I don't think I bought it in a store. Bought it online, had it shipped over, and I think I played a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until we decided we were going to cover it on the show. And then I was like, all right, I need to give this a proper playthrough. And I spent, I don't know, close to an hour playing through as much as I could, bear. Not that it was a grueling experience by any means.
But once you hit the industrial area, like, it's just...
It definitely ramps up. I didn't beat the game, but I did get, I don't know. I was relatively close to the end, maybe 75% through it, if I had to guess.
I feel like you made it to the 4th area, which is, yes.
But after playing it, I was still willing to go back and play the rest or play it again. So it wasn't like I was miserable at the end of it and didn't want to play anymore. It was just at that point I was like, all right, I'm ready to be done.
Yeah.
For now. So no, but yeah, a great Game Boy Mickey game. I know there's some other Mickey Game Boy games, but I haven't played them. So this is kind of my big experience with them. But
and then there's there's a Bugs Bunny one that is interchangeable with a Mickey one, depending on if you're in Japan or North America. I can't remember how it works, but yeah, there's even a Mickey game that is a Bugs game somewhere else. So,
Don't lose your shorts, dude. We'll be back after this. And now it's time for this week's song of the week.
Man, I love this song.
That's a good one.
Yeah. This is from one of my other favorite little licensed games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but Turtles Back from the Sewers.
Oh.
This is the obligatory second episode where you're on rails. So
okay.
like much like Battletoads, where the impossible speeder bike level.
Oh, yeah.
Animaniacs has their little kind of like 3-track level. It takes place on a highway. You are on a skateboard because it's the 90s and you're totally tubular turtles.
Exactly.
So but really upbeat, major key, a lot of fun. Yeah, I like this song a lot.
Nice. That's a great pick, man. It's a deeper cut, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And it's Konami. Always go with Konami when it comes to like late 80s, early 90s music.
Definitely.
Always.
Awesome. Well, that's a great episode. Great song.
Great song. This is a great episode.
This has been a great episode,
yes,
guys.
Absolutely. One of my favorites. Okay, so I really want to read the back of this box because it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
So, Big Bad Pete swiped Minnie's birthday present and spoiled Mickey's surprise. Mickey is out to get Minnie's present back and chases Pete through some dangerous places. In this awesome adventure, you play as Mickey Mouse. Enjoy the wonderful world of Disney as you follow Big Bad Pete through towns, woods, rooftops, mountains, and factories. Help Mickey throw boxes at the bad guy while grabbing stars and prizes. Ride the speedboat, jalopy, and a bouquet of balloons. And get that present back. Better hurry. All right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Riveting.
I'm not sure what the jalopy is.
Yeah.
I forget what that word is supposed to mean, but I don't.
I thought it was a food.
No, it's not a food, but thinking of as someone who's played this game a bunch, I'm trying to remember at what point do I ride something that could be called a jalopy. There's a bear you can ride on. There's a speedboat, stuff like that. But like I said, yeah, if you've ever played Chippendale's Rescue Rangers for the NES, this is it will look very familiar to you. Mm-hmm. It's a side-scrolling platformer where you dispatch enemies by picking up and throwing boxes at them. Funnily enough, it's Mickey's dangerous chase, but you can play as Minnie as well.
That's right.
Yep. And your goal is to reach Goofy, who is at the end of each stage, and he will usually tell you which way Pete went in a cutscene. The common joke here is that Goofy, if you can get to the end of the stage every time before I can, why don't you just chase him down?
Yeah. What the heck, man?
I don't know. And Goofy seems like more of an adult than Mickey. I mean, he's bigger. I know Mickey's a mouse, but whatever. Like, come on, dude. Take some, just get off. Come on, man. You can do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are 5 areas in this game, and on the back of the box, kind of mentioned most of them, but I'll go over them. They are Mickey's hometown, the woods, the mountain, and because this is a children's game, there is the industrial area and the business district.
Oh.
Yes. So, the Mickey's hometown is mostly storefronts, like the woods and the mountain, very self-explanatory. But the industrial area is just kind of like factories and crap. It's where the game like the difficulty curve really ramps up. Mm-hmm. But it's still kind of fun. And then you've got the business district. So, usually I wanted to point this out because as I was thinking about the game, I didn't realize it. But the last level is usually like some kind of vehicle thing. With like an auto-scrolling part to it. So the first area's third level is a speedboat auto-scrolling section. The second one is the most fun, where you're holding, like it says, a bouquet of balloons, and you are floating up, and you have to move left and right to dodge things. And you have 3 hit points in this game. But during the balloon level, if you lose a life or a hit point, you are down to 2 balloons, and you start moving slower. Which means you could get hit a little bit easier. So like that, this is a little bit of cleverness to it.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
The mountains, you're on the way back down, so you're riding on the backs of birds that fly in and out of the screen, and you have to stay on top of them. And then the industrial area, the auto scroller is like a car level. As far as the business district is concerned, that auto scroll level can go rot in hell as far as I'm concerned. I hate it. You're climbing up a building.
Yeah.
There's no vehicles, but it's really hard, and it's all memorization, and there's like 3 branching paths, and you never know which one is the right one until you've memorized it. It's kind of lame. But not only do one of the other things I wanted to point out is that not only do most levels have their own unique bad guys, or at the very least each area will have bad guys that don't repeat. I think a lot of in the first area, there's a lot of the same guys, the same dogs, the same weird street dudes. But once you start getting into the other levels, like you will see bad guys that you will never see in a different level. You will like see the eagles only once, maybe twice, but they're both in the mountain. And not only that, but most of the levels have their own musical theme too. So like each song is kind of unique, and I always thought that was really cool. As far as the visuals, it's like nothing too spectacular. I mean, they're licensed characters. They look true to their, the source material. But, and like I said, as far as audio, like I said, most levels have their own song, which is pretty great. And for whatever reason, I've always found like the sound effects to be like satisfying. Like when you obliterate an enemy with a box, it's like it makes this weird noise that I just always kind of liked. So, I mean, we're not gonna have much to say about visuals and audio in most of these Game Boy games, but as long as they're there, I'll say that much on it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job. Mickey looks pretty true to character.
Mm-hmm.
The weasels are some of the villains in the game.
Yes, in the first area, yeah.
And they're pretty cool. I always love when Disney games use them.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're really cool little villains. They kind of have that mobster vibe to them. And
yeah, see, they got like a toothpick.
Right.
Right.
And so I appreciate they chose those. And then they have like little cut scenes in between each level, which usually has Goofy in it, and shows Mickey and Minnie. And I don't know, I thought those looked pretty good overall. Like you said, pretty true to the character. Another thing I noticed was each level you collect these things.
Okay, yeah.
Orbs,
so, like
crystal
nuggets,
balls,
circles,
things.
Whatever. There are 4 hidden in every level. If you find all 4, you get an extra life. Likewise, there are stars just sitting around every level, and if you get 100 of those, you get an extra life. But each level has 4 golden ball. I don't know. As a kid, I always was like, well, that's got to be a gold ball or something, I guess.
Right.
So I don't know. They don't actually have a color. They're just balls on a card.
Right.
I remember finding every single one of them, maybe not completing the whole game, getting every single one of them, but at some point I was really good about like knowing where they all were and getting them every time I ran through and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can beat this game in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, if you kind of know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, so I think the collectibles add a little bit of, you don't need them,
Right.
but if you're struggling or whatever, it's nice to have them. I know when I played through it, I wasn't really understanding what those were for at first. It wasn't really well communicated.
No,
and
it doesn't really even tell you about it.
Right. And so eventually I figured out, oh, that's what they do.
It kind of has a little Mario 3 bar at the bottom with some of your information, I think.
Yes.
And there are 4 empty circles, and they will fill up
That's
as you
true.
grab them.
Yeah.
But then there's like little secret areas, like especially in level 2. There's a thing, a pit that you need to jump over. But if you fall into it, you realize, oh, there's more level down here. Like, so there's stuff like that, like hidden a little bit, but
not too much, but there's a
No.
little bit.
yeah. It's some just a smattering of it.
So I noticed when I was playing through this game, I didn't get a lot of extra lives at first. About midway through the game, I got a lot of them. And so at one point, I had like 7 or 8 lives or something.
And then you hit 4-1, and it all goes to hell.
And then I used them all up. I guess the one redeeming thing about this game that doesn't make it super hard is that you can continue as many times as you want. You never game over back to level 1. But if you are in, say, 4-2... and you game over, you got to go back to 4-1.
Right.
So I think that's pretty fair. I know a lot of games where if you're in 4-2 and you game over, you go back to 1-1.
Right.
And so I think at the very least that was generous.
Or you have like 3 continues and that's it.
Right.
But
Yeah. Usually they give you a little
also, it's a little generous that areas 1, 2, and 3 are all pretty easy. And you don't really have to, like, there's not much, it's not like a difficult thing to get through. When you start to hit 4, although I will say that I think it's, what was it, 3-2 is the haunted house, and that one's a little tough, but
yeah.
But once you start hitting 4, like, the difficulty just, like I said, ramps up.
Yeah. A couple other thoughts I had. I think the physics and controls of this game are pretty good. You have a pretty floaty jump, I guess. It's not a very, gravity heavy, so you have a bit of extra oomph to your jump, which I think for pretty much every Disney game is very welcome in my opinion.
It lends to like an exploratory nature of the game, because you have this kind of high floaty jump that makes it easy for you to make the jump that you want to make, especially if you can make it.
Right.
So like it's kind of in that way, sort of kids game that it makes it a little bit easier for youngins to get through a game.
Totally. Yeah. So I appreciated that. Other than that, I'm trying to think. The combat's pretty straightforward. You can't jump on bad guys. Got to throw blocks and other things at them. So, yeah. Is there anything else you think we're missing on this one?
Not really, other than look, here comes a spoiler, people.
Uh-oh.
So Mickey's Dangerous Chase, like I said before, is about the fact that Pete stole the present that you were going to give to Minnie for her birthday.
Okay.
When you finally catch up and open that present, Clay, do you remember what's in that box?
I do, but what I'm sure it's got to be something great, because this is literally an entire video game around getting Minnie's present. So it has to be something great.
And Pete had to have wanted to steal it, right?
Right.
Unless out of spite. It's got to be something he wants. No, it's a live bird. There's a live bird in this box that is just living there while Pete runs away from you for however many levels. And yes, there's a live damn bird in that box.
Wow.
That's just, I don't know. It's just a ridiculous thing to me. Like, you don't wrap a present with a live animal inside unless you're like, America in 1980 or before, I guess. So,
don't birds eat mice?
Yes, they do, but not little ones. Like Tweety Bird would not eat Speedy Gonzales, so that sort of thing.
Well, that's not Disney.
Not to mix, not to mix.
Yeah, I'm getting confused now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the last thing I probably have to say about this game, is that you chase down Pete. Probably why you're chasing, instead of just going to the store and going, oh, well, I'll get you another one. Just be like, no, there's an animal in there. I need to kind of save that animal.
How big is this bird?
It's not big at all. It's smaller than both Minnie and Mickey.
Like, compared to Mickey's hand, how big is it?
Like, smaller than his hand. It is a songbird, if you will. It is a small bird.
So in this world, they're like ginormous. Either there's ginormous mice that walk on two legs, or there's tiny birds. Which do you think it is?
I would say that Mickey himself is some sort of abomination.
Okay.
Goofy and Pluto, I know for a fact, are both bigger than him, and they're dogs, but he is still a large mistake.
Right. I have so many questions. Goofy and Pluto are both dogs.
Right. We can do that Dave Coulier joke all we want from Full House.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But yeah.
Cut it out, dude.
Cut it out.
All right. Nice. All right. Well, final thoughts, man. I know you're a huge fan of this game. I'll let you go first, and I'll give my thoughts.
I still got it. I sat down and it took me like maybe 30, 45 minutes, beat the game.
You beasted it for sure.
It's like I said, that not only does the difficulty get crazy around 4, but World 5 is just, Area 5 is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I love this game. I always will. I love the music. It's all like, it's got a bunch of good little ditties in there. So yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts, honestly, I think the hype is fair for it. I think that it's a good Mickey platformer that looks and plays well on the Game Boy. It's not visually difficult to see what's going on. The controls, you feel like you're in control, but they're also, a little bit more generous with how high you can jump and stuff. And I've played a lot of Mickey platformers. And so, yeah, it's a little more simplified version than some of the other Mickey platformers from the 90s, but it's the Game Boy, and so you're going to get that. And, I think it's good.
It's a year one Game Boy release.
Right. So. And there's good variety in this. It's not all platforming. You got boats. You've got the balloons going up. So there's some good little things that mix it up, and it makes it feel, like a well-rounded game. It's not the same repetitive nonsense the entire time. And I love a good platformer, and I think the throwing boxes mechanic works fine. I wish I could jump on these guys and hurt them. I prefer that more in a platformer, the whole jump on a bad guy thing. But regardless, it's a good game. I think the difficulty level is pretty fair on it. It gets more challenging, maybe ramps up a little too quickly.
Yes, it definitely does.
But it doesn't start out super hard like a lot of Disney games do. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Over time, it gradually gets more difficult. So, yeah, if you've never played this and you like a good, Mickey platformer or a good platformer in general, I think it's a good one to check out.
And now it's time for Real or Fake, the point in the show where one host tries to stump the other by describing a Game Boy game that is real or fake.
I have a game this week that I have chosen that I am going to present to Brian here. And Brian has to tell me whether or not this is a real Game Boy game or not. I could have made this up, or it could actually be a real Game Boy game.
This is going to be interesting.
And so you can ask me any questions you want.
Should I limit it? Should we limit it to like 3?
Yeah, okay. You get 3 questions.
Yeah,
and
you're gonna have to make up some of these if it's fake.
True.
On the spot,
so I'll do my best to answer them as best I can. But
okay.
I may have not played this game, or I may be making it up. So like I may only know a little bit about it. So
we're going through this as we go. In fact,
yes. So all right. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what this game is, and you can then begin to ask your 3 questions. So, this is a Bonk game. Are you aware of Bonk?
Yes, I am.
Bonk's Adventure?
Yes.
Well, this is a sequel to Bonk's Adventure, and it is called Bonk's Revenge.
Okay, so right off the bat, I just want to say fake, but... what year did this come out?
It came out 2 years after the first Bonks came out.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep thinking it's fake. Did Hudson publish or develop this themselves for publish on the Game Boy?
Yes, they were involved with the creation of this game.
Okay. God, it'd be really great to know what year it came out.
Yeah,
so
I wish
you
I
want
had.
to tell me? You want to tell me what? Yeah, I'm still. You know what? I don't even have to have I have to ask my 3rd question. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is fake.
It's actually real.
Damn it! Ah.
Yeah.
I don't know how long the TurboGrafx handheld lasted, but I was pretty sure that there was no... I mean, okay. I guess it probably didn't last very long, but I was pretty sure that was a fake out. So,
Yeah, sorry, man. I feel bad for stumping you on our first one here.
Yeah. You got to give me a year, man. You got to give me the actual year, not 2 years after it came out.
It did come out in 1991.
Huh.
For like multiple platforms: TurboGrafx, Game Boy, Virtual Console.
What was the name of the TurboGrafx handheld?
PlayStation.
I forget. I can't remember anymore.
16? No, that's the.
No, that's the TurboGrafx 16. But I don't remember what the name of the handheld was.
Yeah,
so.
I don't either. All right.
Damn, you got me.
That's all right. Well,
Good
let's.
job.
All right. Well, that's it for this segment. We can continue on then.
Maybe this is a viable segment because I did not think that it was going to be that kind of a. I didn't think it was going to go down like that. So, yeah. All right. You got me.
All right. Well, I'll let you do the next one. How about that?
All right. Fair enough.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for sticking with us to the very end. This has been a great episode and hopefully more to come. If you want, you can find more of our episodes on the NintendoVillage.com. We are also on the Nintendo Village YouTube as well as iTunes. Join us next episode for some more Strictly Game Boy. We'll see you later.
All right, we love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, check out some of our other videos, and visit thenintendovillage.com, your home for everything Nintendo.